Hi, I'm Emma Jervis. I'm a practice leader and the head of franchise law here at Legal Vision. Moving on from a franchise can be done successfully. Here's how. So right from the start, you should make sure you actually can terminate the franchise agreement. The vast majority of franchise agreements are for a fixed term and they don't have a clause entitling the franchisee to terminate at will. Our second point is to consider a sale as opposed to just walking away or leaving the franchise business. If you're leaving for personal reasons or you simply want to pursue another endeavour, but your business is nonetheless trading well and you could sell it as a going concern, you might want to consider that transfer. On that issue, most franchise agreements do contain a clause entitling the franchisee to sell, provided that they have the franchisor's consent. Our next point is to review the franchise agreement thoroughly. The vast majority of franchise agreements will actually have a specific clause detailing what the franchisee has to do on termination, but you should review the entirety of the agreement. It might detail, for example, things like your ongoing use of the intellectual property, the return of the operations manual, and those sort of practical requirements. Step number 4 applies if you're operating from a premises, for example, a retail premises. If that's the case, you should review your lease or your licence to understand your obligations under that document as well. There'll be requirements with respect to the giving of notice and also things like make good. So next, you should consider the restraint of trade clause. The vast majority of franchise agreements will have a restraint of trade which seek to prevent you setting up in competition. So if you're looking to open up another business in the same industry or even take your client base with you, you really need to understand how that clause is going to apply to you. Number 6 is quite a simple one, and that's just to understand when you actually have to give notice of your intention to vacate the franchise business. So here you should be looking at not only the time required, but also the method of giving notice, which is usually just in writing. So finally, number 7, taking into account all of the other steps we've talked about, you should develop a proper exit plan, putting into place a timeline of events and what has to happen before each and every one of those can occur. So it's important that all of these steps are considered right at the outset before you even sign the franchise agreement, so that you're aware throughout the term and when you come to exit of what your rights and obligations are.